Hey, also tonight we're going to talk about a couple things you don't want to do in port. Visiting new destinations, at least to me, is one of the best reasons to go on a cruise.
Yes.
However, there's some things cruise passengers should never do in cruise ports of call. Whether it be, because it's dangerous, whether it be because you'll get lost, whether it be because you'll miss the ship for whatever reason. These are all pretty much big no-nos. So we'll try and keep the list brief.
Yes, I think we'll stick.
Renting a moped or a scooter. Very popular things to do in Bermuda and a couple other destinations. Highly recommended against doing that. And actually, cruise lines often warn their passengers not to do that just because it has nothing to do whether you're an experienced, cyclist, or not. It has to do with you're in a foreign country with different, they might drive on the left side instead of the right side. The road signs are different. The way people drive is different. You don't want to be like the couple that got into an accident in Cozumel last year and ended up in the hospital, missing ship's movement, had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get back home. Yeah, you're better off just let a professional drive. And I get it. Mopeds are fun, but wait till you're home to do that. I hope that makes sense because you'll never get me to rent a scooter or a moped in a foreign country.
Why not?
Would you like me to go over that again for you?
We rented a dune buggy.
No, that's a dune buggy. That's different.
Another thing not to do is travel without trip insurance.
That's the truth.
While accidents are rare, traveling without insurance can be a cruise passenger put them in a dangerous situation. Unfortunately, health emergencies can happen in life, even on vacation. Cruisers who travel without medical insurance are putting themselves at risk, both health-wise and financially.
Mm-hmm.
Medical treatment and surgery in a foreign hospital can cost $10,000 or more dollars. The cost for emergency evacuation can be significantly more. Regardless of whether or not you have the health insurance in the States, it will help, but it's a backup plan.
And you're talking usually, travel insurance costs you less than 10% the cost of your trip.
If you don't use it, fantastic.
Yeah.
So
it's
well worth it.
Next up, not bringing sunscreen. Don't do it. You're in, a different part of the world. You don't, the sun's the sun, but the intensity of it is different. So you think about it, you're going to a beach, you're on a Caribbean island. Are you going to go lay on that beach for 2, 4, 6 hours without sunscreen? Yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
Well, cover yourself in a towel.
Okay, you want to run around covered in a towel, go right ahead. I'm going to bring sunscreen. Having a sunburn on a cruise, wow, what a colossal waste of money that would be.
Regardless of the insurance.
Yeah, well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about how much you'd be suffering. Think about some of the bad sunburns you've got over the years.
Dude, been there, done that.
You're not going to be up for partying and having a good old time if you've got, second-degree sunburn.
Correct.
Lastly, on this point, it's a good idea to bring a reef-friendly sunscreen, as many of the Caribbean islands are requiring that by law. So we always pack two. We pack regular sunscreen and we pack the reef-friendly. That way, depending upon the port of call, we'll differ which one we bring.
And we don't have to use the reef-friendly on the cruise ship because the water is in the pool. So just do it.
Bring sunscreen.
Yes. Don't forget to stay on ship time. Wondering what ship time actually means? Ship time may be used on the cruise ship throughout the journey, so passengers don't have to change their watches as your ship moves between time zones. Ship time may not always match the time at the ports, so keep an eye out on both to avoid any confusion during your trip. That's why I always ask him for what time it is. One pro tip for cruises is to always wear a simple, inexpensive watch that won't update automatically, as many smartphones and watches do, even if you put it in airplane mode. Think about it.
Next up, don't book 2 excursions on the same day.
Don't.
We know, you might be a very ambitious traveler, and you might be thinking, okay, I can do both of these things in the same day. I'm there for 8 hours. Each one's only 3 hours or 3.5 hours. Just don't do it. What happens if you go on the first excursion and that excursion bus gets a flat tire and you're an hour late? Well, you now missed your second excursion.
Truth.
What happens if you do make the second excursion and that one gets a flat tire and now you miss ship's movement? Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it. See as much as you can. I got no, that makes sense. That's why you're there. But don't. I highly recommend against booking 2 excursions. And the final reason is, if there was need for another one, is it's exhausting. I don't care how much sitting and sightseeing you're doing, it's going to be exhausting. And you get up early, you go, you do both excursions. You're literally running back to the ship to get there before, last call, or what's it called?
Hurry up.
Final aboard, or there's a word for it, I can't think of it. You're running to get back to the ship. Now you're out of breath. You get on the ship. Yeah, you don't want to go to dinner. You don't want to go to a show or the casino. You want to go to bed. And now you wasted an entire evening.
Kneecap open, something bad happens, whatever the case may be. Fall into shock infested waters, but moving on. Forgetting your shore excursion tickets in the cabin. If your cruise line is using paper shore excursion tickets, you must bring them with you to join the tour. Often then, excursion meeting places will be at the end of the pier outside of the cruise ship. The night before you arrive on the cruise port, pack your shore excursion bag with your tickets, sunscreen, cash, and credit cards, and other essentials.
We always do that the night before. It just makes it easiest. Next up, don't take fruits and vegetables off the ship. Cruise passengers who take fruits and veggies off the ship can get into a lot of trouble. Penalties, fines, restricted to the ship. A lot of countries have strict agricultural and customs regulations, basically designed to protect the local agriculture and ecosystem. So they'll tell you on the cruise ship not to take the fresh produce or meat or anything like that off. If you got dry packaged goods like granola bars, crackers, that kind of thing, you can bring those. That's okay. But make sure you check with the cruise ship before you take any food off the ship.
Avoid wearing flashy jewelry. Most cruise ports are pretty safe. However, people should exercise caution and prevent being a target of theft or pickpocketers and possibly scams wherever they travel. Avoid wearing flashy jewelry, including rings and expensive watches in the cruise port. While bringing cash and a credit card isn't a problem, be discreet and never expose wads of cash. That's super, super important. That's no matter where you go anymore. Actually, yeah. Anywho.
Next up, don't forget your cruise card and your ID. Rocco agrees. When you get off the ship, make sure that they won't let you get off the cruise ship without your cruise card, because they scan you off. They scan it to let you off the ship. That way they can count heads, know who's on board and who's not. So you got to take that. Make sure you also take some sort of government issued ID. If you're traveling with the passport, I recommend you take the passport with you. Yeah. If you're not, then take your driver's license or your government issued ID. Some places the driver's license is all you need. Some cruise ports require that passport. So make sure you figure that out before you step foot on the ship. And that's enough on that point.
Yes. Don't be late. Being late is definitely something not to do on port days. Do not be late for your shore excursion. Usually there's a 10-minute window between the meetup and the departure time. Don't be late during your excursion or tour. For the excursion to stay on schedule and to avoid inconveniencing your fellow passengers, be on time. Do not be late getting back to the cruise ship. Be sure to make it back to the ship before the all aboard time.
That's what it's called, all aboard time.
Is posted for the guests.
You don't want to be a pier runner, or worse, be left behind as your cruise ship sails away and you're sitting there waving.
That's the truth.
That's pretty much the list of don't do's for that port of call. So next, check out this video to see a list of 15 essential things that we always take with us when we do a port visit.